Hey everyone, it's Alex with alextucker.ca, and welcome to my 5Cloudhost review. Now, 5Cloudhost is a budget web hosting provider. I would go so far as to call them a cheap web hosting provider, but there's really nothing cheap or bad about their web hosting. It's just very effectively priced. It's very cost effective, so if you're looking to get a website on a budget, 5Cloudhost is a good option. So I've actually got an account set up on 5Cloudhost. I'll show you this is kind of the client area. I can log into cPanel, log into webmail, change the password, and if I click here, I can actually open the website that I built on their hosting. You can see that loaded in very fast, despite the fact that this is a Divi website, and it's a big web page too. It's like a 1 or 2 megabyte web page because I just used one of the Divi. I used a Divi template to make this, and it's just really image heavy. I don't think the images are even like compressed or anything. So it's a very heavy web page, and it's a heavy theme, right? Divi is a pretty heavy theme, and it just loads in fine with a couple of performance plugins added. And so I'll kind of walk you through exactly what I did here. I'm just going to go back to my 5Cloudhost review on my blog, and the link to this blog post, if you'd like to read this review, it goes a little bit more in depth than I'm going to do in the video. So if you want to get all the details, then the link to this post is in the description. And there will also be an affiliate link to 5Cloudhost itself in case you want to check out their website and potentially purchase some hosting from them. So 5Cloudhost is kind of a specialized web hosting company. They don't offer a large number of services like most web hosting companies do. They really just offer 3 plans that are all shared hosting, and if one of those plans works well for you, then that's great. You can get a really good deal. And if one of those plans doesn't work out for you, or if you outgrow all of those plans, then you need to go with a different provider. And that's kind of their thing. And it's a really interesting kind of position to take, because most web hosting providers try to kind of capture a customer for life. You know, they want to get someone early when they're just starting their website, and then they want them to grow that website with their hosting and stay there forever. And depending on the kind of website you have, you could stay with 5Cloudhost forever. If you just have like a lightweight blog that never gets that big, or a small e-commerce store that never gets that big, you could definitely stay on there. But if your site does end up growing really significantly and getting a ton of traffic, you may eventually have to upgrade to a VPS or even a dedicated server, and that's not something that 5Cloudhost offers. So just be aware of that. And just to talk a bit about myself, I have quite a bit of experience studying and working with web hosting companies. So I do kind of know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert at this stage, but I've got more experience than most people working with and understanding web hosting providers. So I did some fairly extensive testing. I think I did use GTmetrix, but I only recorded results from the Google PageSpeed test. But so this is the mobile and desktop results from when I had freshly installed WordPress, and it just had the sample theme, the 2020 theme. And then this is the results from when I first installed Divi. You can see it's much worse, but that's because that's what happens when you just install Divi and don't do anything. And then I started installing some performance plugins, and I managed to improve the scores. And then I installed some more plugins, and I managed to improve them to what I would call an acceptable range. Obviously, if you can get better than 58 on mobile and 86 or 89 on desktop, that's ideal. But those kinds of scores are not bad at all, and as you can see, the real world loading time of this website is actually very fast. So that's speed is really not a concern for me with this hosting provider. I was really impressed with the fact that their hosting works as well as it does, and for the price, there are a couple of drawbacks. They do run on Apache, which is slower than Lightspeed or Nginx, which are kind of the more modern, commonly used web servers these days, but there's really nothing wrong with Apache, especially for the kind of hosting that they're using it for. Now, if they were trying to put big dedicated servers on Apache and put, millions of requests through them, that might be a bigger issue, but for what they're using it for, Apache appears to be very effective. And of course, another drawback, as I mentioned earlier, it's not really as scalable as other providers. You may have to move at some point if your website gets too big. They don't currently have any servers in Asia. They do have servers in North America, in the US, and in Europe in a couple of places. If you want the full details on that, again, check my review on my blog. And so I've got some frequently asked questions here. This is a look at their current pricing. It's pretty crazy, to be honest. So these are comparable plans to most web hosting companies. This is comparable to the entry-level plan for many web hosting companies. This is comparable to the mid-tier shared hosting plan for many web hosting companies. And this is very comparable to an upper-tier shared plan on most web hosting companies. In fact, they actually offer like free SSL, which is common, but they also offer free, or rather included, security. So that's less common. Many web hosting providers will provide security at the server level, but to provide security at the web application level, to actually provide a web application firewall, which they do, is pretty impressive for the price that they're charging. So as you can see, this is just the prices at this time. This could be subject to change, but this is what they are right now. And as I was saying, they include really everything that you need. There's daily backups, there's free Let's Encrypt SSL, there's a firewall and a web application firewall, which, as I was saying, is not that common. Usually the only hosts that have web application firewalls for you are like managed WordPress hosts that charge significantly more, and this is significantly cheaper than even the average shared hosting. So 5Cloudhost really is a good deal. And like I said, they include virus and malware protection as well, which is almost always an extra cost with any web host out there, unless it's already an expensive managed WordPress type of provider. And then, everything's unlimited. That's within the context of a small business, I'm guessing. I haven't read their abuse policy, but unless you've got a lot of big websites, you're probably not going to run into issues. And, if that does happen, you were made aware of it beforehand by me, and they're very upfront about the fact that their web hosting is not for larger sites. So I think that's all I really need to say on this review. I don't want to make it too long. I'm going to include a couple other links in the description as well, so you can grab Divi if you want. Divi is a great theme. It is a little bit heavy, as I was mentioning, but the cool thing about it is that you can build pretty much whatever you want. You can make your website look however you want. You can add almost any element that you want to it just using Divi and the plugins that come with Divi. So, anyways, that's a little side thing, but that is my 5Cloudhost review. I hope you found it helpful. If you're considering 5Cloudhost, I do think it's a very good value. I'm pretty impressed with everything about them except for the few drawbacks that I mentioned. And the truth is, there's drawbacks to any web host out there. I hear people complaining about the most expensive managed WordPress and the best web hosts all the time. So I think if you're looking for a cost-effective option for your web hosting, especially if you're just getting started with your first website, then I think 5Cloudhost is a pretty solid option for you. Anyways, once again, this is Alex Tucker with alextucker.ca. and let me know if you have any experience with this provider. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's any reviews or other kinds of content that you'd like to see me produce on this channel. I'm always really happy to interact with you and to do my best to provide the kind of videos that you want to see. So give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I will catch up with you later.